We organized to be able to vote our conscience and defend the permanent fund dividend. We were given positions of leadership to get our key agendas through, which were reduce the footprint of government, to protect the permanent fund dividend and the permanent fund, and government's most important responsibility, improve public safety. I have to educate the people of Alaska. They may not understand the caucus budget rule, but we agreed to vote for the capital budget and the operating budget to meet our constitutional obligations to run government after we work hard in our subcommittees to achieve our agenda. I want people to know that I did vote for the capital supplemental budget for the fire and earthquake. I voted for the mental health trust budget. I voted for the operating budget. It was a really tough vote, but I voted for concurrence. Sadly, when that was stripped, the PFD was stripped. And I also voted for the capital budget. I want to make it very clear that I never agreed to vote for all appropriation bills. I think it would be irresponsible and ridiculous. I never voted for that. I want the people of Alaska to know that we didn't know the vast changes that were happening on committee reports. We actually just got this report moments ago. This is an absolute restructuring of power in the Senate. These decisions were made by leadership behind closed doors. These are going to have unimaginable consequences statewide. I believe this is a defining moment in the history of Alaska where there's got a major shift to the left. I think that this is very serious. I was told I could vote my conscience on the PFD and defend the permanent fund dividend statute. If we're lawmakers, we could change the statute, but I was never told that I was going to be forced to break a statute to be part of a caucus and the majority. We also agreed that only Republicans, since we had 13 of them, only Republicans were to be in leadership positions. That was a foundational principle that we organized on. Today, this report is an absolute unbelievable reorganization. We were told that if we voted no on a budget, which we voted for, like I said, the budgets, the capital operating, mental health trust, etc., we were told we were only going to lose a chairmanship and a legislative aid that goes with that if we voted no on the budgets, but we voted yes on the budgets. We voted yes on all 5 of those. Today, this is a major reorganization, a major shift of power to fewer people. This is remarkable. We were told by some that it was going to be a redistribution of workload, which is absolutely unbelievable. This is a major, major reorganization of power. We have a permanent fund corporation. We have 65 or so billion in the corpus, and we have roughly, I'm not sure how many in the earnings reserve, but a lot in the earnings reserve. We have a statute that we're supposed to follow to pay that dividend. Just like we have the permanent fund corporation, we need to abide by that statute or change that statute if the numbers don't add up. But I believe that we have to follow, just like an oil company pays dividends or a native corporation to their shareholders, that is the people's money. And we need to make sure.
Senator Coghill.
Point of order, Madam Chair. It is a report on the committee structure, so it is true that she is right on speaking about the structure. But to bring the policy questions in is out of order. Madam President, I asked that you would hold her out of order on talking the policy issues.
Senator Reinbold, you will restrict your comments to the Committee on Committees report itself.
The Committee on Committee reports does dramatic changes. I am stripped of every committee except Judiciary and Joint Armed Services. So one standing committee where we see legislation under now the Rules Chair, which is amazing that the Rules Chair now has Rules Chair and Judiciary. And I want to remind Alaskans that SB 91 was passed. He was the leader of
Senator Reinbold.
In my opinion, this report is completely unacceptable. It's a complete reorganization based on an agenda that fits the minority of Alaskans. This is a redistribution of power. There's punitive damages in here. And I believe this is so important to our representative republic. I believe we should be allowed to vote our conscience. Some are stating this is coercion. This is to be able to not vote our conscience. I think this is a very serious matter for our republic. I think it's a very serious matter to silence members, and if they don't agree with a specific agenda, some will say this is...
Senator Reinbold.
Is impugning the motives of why they may have done something. Certainly she's welcome to explain her reasons, but not others.
Thank you, Senator Coghill. Senator Reinbold, decorum requires you to restrain your attribution of motive to other members. It's out of order. You may speak to the Committee on Committees report only. You may proceed.
I do not believe I've impugned any motives at all. I am simply stating I believe that the republic is at risk when your elected representative cannot voice their vote or without punishment. That is very serious. This is not only imputing motives, this is stripping dramatic power and silencing the majority of Alaskans' votes. This is a very serious, I find it unacceptable report. I find this is a complete reorganization, a complete power redistribution, and I will be an absolute passionate no vote.